In the 6th century, the Arabian Peninsula was largely overlooked, a harsh desert between the Christian Byzantine Empire to the west and the Persian Sasanian Empire to the east. Caravans crossed long routes, and tribes contended over water and pasture. Few imagined anything greater could emerge from this rugged margin. Yet history often turns margins into centers. From these frontiers, a new force would rise, carrying ideas that reshaped continents. In less than a lifetime, the desert would speak with a voice that echoed across empires. And in under 20 minutes, you'll see how tribes once dismissed as scattered nomads built one of the world's most enduring civilizations. A story of rise, fall, and transformation. In the year 570, in Mecca, a bustling trading hub around the Kaaba, a child was born who would change history, Muhammad. Orphaned young, known for honesty, he married Khadija, his steadfast supporter. In the stillness of nights at the cave of Hira, he received revelations that became the Quran, calling to monotheism, justice, and accountability. His message challenged Mecca's order, provoking persecution and boycott. In 622, he and his followers fled to Medina, the Hijra, forging a community bound by belief. Through diplomacy and alliances, he united feuding tribes, laying principles of shared rights and duties. Defensive battles like Badr and Uhud cemented his leadership. And in 632, after a farewell pilgrimage stressing equality, he died, leaving a burning question. Who would lead the Ummah? That question would shape Islam's future. With the death of Muhammad, the community stood at a crossroads. Abu Bakr, his close companion and father-in-law, became the first caliph, quelling the Ridda Wars and launching the Rashidun era of pious consultative rule, Shura. These leaders carried Muhammad's spiritual legacy while uniting a fragile polity. Within decades, disciplined armies defeated the Byzantines at Yarmouk, 636, and ended Sasanian power at Qadisiyah, 637. The state stretched from Iran to North Africa, organizing administration through the Diwan, taxing non-Muslims via jizya, and cultivating an identity rooted in Sharia, with new centers like Kufa and Basra. Triumphs masked strain, succession disputes deepened, and 3 caliphs, Umar, Uthman, Ali, were assassinated. Ali's supporters, Shia, held he was the Prophet's designated heir. Others, Sunnis, favored leadership by community consensus. Political conflicts at the Camel and Siffin hardened into a lasting religious divide. The Rashidun left both a vast realm and a fracture, the paradox of unity and division that still shapes Muslim identities. Out of this turbulence rose the Umayyads, founded by Muawiyah in 661 after Ali's assassination. The caliphate became hereditary, shifting power to Damascus, a cosmopolitan capital. Expansion resumed. In 711, Muslim forces crossed into Iberia, creating Al-Andalus. In 732, they were checked at Tours by Charles Martel. By then, the empire spanned the Atlantic to Central Asia. The Umayyads advanced an Arab-first administration and built monuments like the Dome of the Rock to project faith and authority. But grievances grew. Non-Arab converts, Mawali, faced unequal treatment. Berber and Persian revolts simmered. The wound of Karbala, 680, Hussein's killing, became central to Shia memory and resistance. By the mid-8th century, opposition coalesced behind the Abbasids, who overthrew the dynasty. One Umayyad branch escaped to Iberia, founding a rival caliphate at Córdoba. From the ashes of the Umayyads rose a new dynasty, the Abbasids, who orchestrated a revolution with the help of Persian allies and disaffected groups. Claiming descent from the Prophet's uncle Abbas, they promised renewal and justice, appealing to Shia sentiments initially before aligning with Sunni orthodoxy. And their revolution was swift and brutal, culminating in the massacre of Umayyad elites at a banquet. In 750, they seized power and built a new capital, Baghdad, strategically located on the Tigris River for trade and defense. This city would become a marvel of the medieval world, a place where trade routes from China to Europe converged, with bustling souks selling silks, spices, and slaves, and grand mosques like the Al-Mansur Mosque anchoring its spiritual life. Under the Abbasids, military expansion halted as borders stabilized, but civilization itself expanded in ways more lasting and profound, fostering an intellectual renaissance that preserved and advanced human knowledge. Scholars translated Greek philosophy from Plato and Aristotle, Persian literature like the Shahnameh, and Indian mathematics, including the concept of zero, into Arabic, then pushed them further, producing breakthroughs in medicine with Ibn Sina's Canon of Medicine, astronomy through al-Khwarizmi's algebra, a term derived from his work, and engineering innovations like water clocks and astrolabes. The House of Wisdom, or Beit al-Hikmah, became a beacon of learning, a library and academy where Christian, Jewish, and Muslim intellectuals collaborated, debating ideas that influenced the European Renaissance centuries later. Poets like Abu Nuwas celebrated wine and wit in verse, while philosophers such as Al-Farabi explored political theory. Harun al-Rashid, immortalized in the tales of Arabian Nights as a wise yet adventurous ruler, symbolized this golden flourishing, even sending exotic gifts like an elephant to Charlemagne in distant Europe, forging diplomatic ties across divides. Yet prosperity could not mask fragility, as the empire's vastness led to administrative challenges. The vast empire began to fragment, as local dynasties like the Aghlabids in North Africa and Tahirids in Persia rose, and Baghdad's authority weakened through civil wars and slave soldier revolts. The caliph, once a conqueror commanding loyalty, became a figurehead, his power diminished by Persian viziers, Turkish guards, and rival rulers who paid lip service while ruling autonomously. Arab exclusivity faded, replaced by a multi-ethnic tapestry that reshaped Islam into a global civilization, incorporating Persian administrative genius, Turkish military prowess, and Indian scientific insights. The Abbasids presided over an age of light, where paper mills from China revolutionized book production and hospitals offered free care. But shadows were lengthening with economic strains from overtaxation and environmental changes like droughts. The Golden Dawn was slowly giving way to political night, and new challengers were already stirring on the horizon, from nomadic invaders to internal schisms. As the Abbasids faded into weakness, their caliphs increasingly puppeted by military strongmen, new forces swept into the Islamic world, reshaping it in ways no one could have foreseen, blending destruction with renewal. From the steppes of Central Asia came the Turks, fierce horsemen, masters of the bow and composite archery that allowed devastating mounted attacks, and soon converts to Islam who brought fresh vigor to the faith. The Seljuks, under leaders like Tughril Beg, seized Baghdad in 1055, taking the title of Sultan, meaning authority, while leaving the caliph as a symbolic figure to legitimize their rule. At Manzikert in 1071, they crushed the Byzantines in a battle that exploited feigned retreats, opening Anatolia to Turkic settlement and migration, where nomadic tribes established beyliks that evolved into settled societies. Out of this moment, the roots of modern Turkey began to take shape, with cities like Konya becoming centers of Sufi mysticism under poets like Rumi, whose whirling dervishes symbolized spiritual ecstasy. Yet the Muslim world's divisions invited new threats as fragmented principalities quarreled. In 1095, the Crusades began. Waves of European knights, spurred by Pope Urban II's call for holy war and promises of absolution, carved out states in the Levant like the Kingdom of Jerusalem, capturing Antioch and Edessa through sieges and massacres. At first, They seemed unstoppable, exploiting Muslim disunity. But then came Saladin, a Kurdish leader of remarkable charisma, born Yusuf ibn Ayyub, who rose through the ranks with tactical brilliance and personal humility. He ended the Shia Fatimid rule in Egypt in 1171, founding the Ayyubid dynasty, united Muslim armies from Syria to Yemen through alliances and jihad rhetoric, and at Hattin in 1187 shattered the Crusaders with a decisive ambush, reclaiming Jerusalem in a merciful entry that contrasted Christian atrocities. His victory restored Muslim pride, though the Crusader presence lingered for generations, with figures like Richard the Lionheart negotiating truces that highlighted mutual respect amid rivalry. But a storm was gathering in the east, far beyond the Mediterranean battles. The Mongols, united under Genghis Khan in 1206, unleashed devastation on a scale the world had never seen. Their armies of horsemen conquering with siege engines, psychological terror, and unmatched mobility. Kingdom after kingdom fell, from China to Eastern Europe. When the Khwarezmian rulers defied them by killing envoys, retribution was merciless. Cities like Samarkand razed and populations decimated. In 1258, Hulagu Khan's forces stormed Baghdad after a prolonged siege, slaughtering its inhabitants. Estimates suggest hundreds of thousands perished, and reducing the fabled House of Wisdom to ashes, its books dumped into the Tigris, turning the river black with ink. The Golden Age was over, drowned in fire and blood, with the last Abbasid caliph executed in a rolled-up carpet. Yet even this cataclysm could not erase Islam, as survivors rebuilt and adapted. In Egypt, a new warrior class rose, the Mamluks, once Turkic and Circassian slaves trained as elite soldiers, now sultans after overthrowing their Ayyubid masters. At Ain Jalut in 1260, under Baybars, they halted the Mongols with superior cavalry tactics and Egyptian resolve, proving the empire was not invincible and saving the Levant from further conquest. From their triumph, they crushed the remaining Crusaders at Acre in 1291 and re-established the Abbasid Caliphate in Cairo, even if only as a shadow to lend legitimacy. Meanwhile, splinter Mongol dynasties like the Ilkhanids embraced Islam, converting under Ghazan Khan and blending Persian culture with nomadic traditions. And Timur, the Turco-Mongol conqueror known as Tamerlane, built yet another empire in the 14th century, with brutality matched only by cultural brilliance, sacking Delhi and Damascus, but patronizing arts in Samarkand, where turquoise mosques rose as testaments to his legacy. This was Islam's age of survival, battered by invaders who left scars on landscapes and psyches, yet reshaping itself again and again through conversion, innovation, and resilience, refusing to vanish and preparing for the rise of its final great dynasty amid the ruins of old powers. Out of Anatolia's frontier wars, where Byzantine borders frayed against Turkish Ghazis, holy warriors, emerged a small principality led by a man named Osman around 1299. Few could have guessed his descendants would forge one of history's greatest empires, starting as a modest beylik that expanded through opportunistic alliances and jihad against infidels. The Ottomans grew steadily, absorbing rivals like the Karamanids, and in 1453, under Mehmed II, the Conqueror, they achieved the unthinkable, the conquest of Constantinople after a 53-day siege using massive cannons cast by Hungarian engineers, breaching walls that had stood for centuries. The 1,000-year-old Byzantine Empire was gone, and Istanbul became the Ottoman capital, its Hagia Sophia converted into a mosque symbolizing Islamic triumph. With cannons thundering and new gunpowder armies at their command, including the elite Janissary Corps of converted Christian boys trained as infantry, the Ottomans ushered in a new age of warfare and empire building, revolutionizing military tactics with firearms and logistics. Their reach spread across 3 continents, from the deserts of Arabia to the plains of Hungary, after victories like Mohacs in 1526, from North Africa, where Barbarossa brothers secured Algiers, to the Black Sea coasts, dominating trade. Selim I, known as the Grim for his ruthless campaigns, tripled the empire's size by defeating the Safavids at Chaldiran in 1514 and captured Cairo in 1517, ending the Mamluks in a swift conquest. With this, he claimed the title of Caliph, binding political and spiritual leadership in one figure once again, positioning the Ottomans as protectors of the holy cities, Mecca and Medina. The Ottomans stood as the guardians of Sunni Islam, enforcing orthodoxy while tolerating diverse millets, autonomous religious communities for Jews, Christians, and others. To the east, two other powers rose: the Safavids in Persia under Shah Ismail, who embraced Twelver Shia Islam as state religion, laying the foundations of modern Iran with its rich poetry and miniature art, and the Mughals in India, founded by Babur in 1526, blending Islamic power with South Asia's vast cultures under Akbar's tolerant policies, building the Taj Mahal as a pinnacle of architecture. Together, these three became known as the Gunpowder Empires, strong, wealthy, and ambitious, leveraging artillery to control vast territories and fostering economies through silk roads and spice trades. For centuries, the Ottomans dominated the Mediterranean, the Middle East, and beyond, clashing with Habsburgs at Vienna in 1529 and 1683, and allying with France against common foes. Their courts glittered with scholars like Piri Reis mapping the world, artisans crafting intricate Iznik tiles, and merchants in the Grand Bazaar. Their armies struck fear across Europe with campaigns that reached the gates of Vienna. To much of the world, they were not simply another empire, but the last great caliphate, holding together the diverse and far-reaching Islamic world through a sophisticated bureaucracy and naval prowess under admirals like Hayreddin Barbarossa. Yet even at their height under Suleiman the Magnificent, who codified laws and built the Suleymaniye Mosque, the seeds of decline had already been planted, with overextension, succession crises, and the rise of European naval powers challenging their supremacy. For centuries, the Ottomans held the banner of Islam, but even the strongest empires bend with time, eroded by internal stagnation and external pressures. By the 17th century, cracks were visible as the empire faced defeats like the Battle of Lepanto in 1571, where a Christian coalition shattered Ottoman naval invincibility. European powers surged ahead with exploration, discovering new worlds via Vasco da Gama's route around Africa that bypassed Ottoman trade monopolies, and innovations like the printing press and scientific revolution that the Ottomans adopted slowly. The Ottoman economy struggled with inflation from American silver floods, its military stretched thin by endless wars with Safavids and Russians, and internal corruption grew as sultans retreated to harem intrigues, leaving governance to grand viziers. Provinces that once bowed to Istanbul's authority began to slip away, with governors like Muhammad Ali in Egypt asserting independence after repelling Napoleon's invasion in 1798. In Europe, nationalist movements in the Balkans, fueled by Greek independence in 1821 and Serbian uprisings, challenged imperial rule, while in Arabia, the Wahhabi movement under Ibn Saud reclaimed influence with puritanical reforms. Yet the caliphate endured through Tanzimat reforms in the 19th century, modernizing administration, education, and law to emulate Europe, its symbolism binding millions of Muslims to a common history amid telegraph lines and railroads connecting distant lands. The real breaking point came in the 20th century, as the sick man of Europe faltered. Drawn into the First World War on the side of the Central Powers, allying with Germany against Britain and Russia, the Ottomans faced disastrous campaigns like Gallipoli in 1915, where Allied invasions were repelled at great cost. Ultimately on the losing side, the Ottomans were dismantled by Allied powers through the Treaty of Sèvres in 1920, carving up territories into mandates. Istanbul, the jewel of the empire with its Bosphorus vistas, was occupied by British, French, and Italian forces. In 1924, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, a war hero who led the Turkish War of Independence, abolished the institution of the Caliphate altogether amid secular reforms, establishing the Republic of Turkey and separating religion from state. For the first time in over a millennium, Islam had no recognized caliph, a profound rupture that ended an era. The shock reverberated across the Muslim world, from India, where the Caliphate movement protested vehemently, to the Middle East, where intellectuals debated revival. Some mourned the loss of unity, seeing it as the death of pan-Islamic solidarity. Others saw it as liberation from outdated authority, paving the way for nation-states. What remained was not a single empire, but scattered lands, each struggling to define its own path amid colonial legacies and emerging ideologies. The fall of the Caliphate did not mean the end of the Islamic world, but rather its transformation into a decentralized, dynamic entity adapting to modernity. As the Ottomans collapsed, European colonial powers moved swiftly to fill the vacuum, redrawing maps at conferences like Sykes-Picot in 1916 that secretly divided the Middle East. The British claimed India, the jewel of their empire with its railways and tea plantations, and extended control over vast swathes of the Middle East, including Iraq, Palestine, and Transjordan, promising independence while installing puppets. The French took North Africa and Syria, reshaping cities like Algiers with boulevards, economies through resource extraction, and even languages by imposing French in schools. Across Muslim lands, from Senegal to Malaya, foreign flags replaced centuries of local rule, with missionaries and administrators imposing Western norms, yet faith endured through underground madrasas and Sufi orders preserving traditions. The 20th century brought both hardship and renewal as colonial exploitation sparked resistance. Anti-colonial struggles erupted from Morocco's Rif War in the 1920s to Indonesia's fight against Dutch rule, as Muslims fought to reclaim their independence, drawing on Islamic principles of justice and figures like Egypt's Saad Zaghloul leading protests. After World War II, weakened empires retreated, and wave after wave of new states emerged. Pakistan in 1947 as a homeland for South Asian Muslims, Egypt under Nasser in 1952, nationalizing the Suez Canal, Algeria after a brutal war in 1962, Indonesia declaring independence in 1945, and dozens more like Malaysia, Nigeria, and Bangladesh. They were modern nations with constitutions and parliaments, yet tied together by a shared heritage of faith and history, navigating challenges like oil booms in the Gulf and conflicts like the Arab-Israeli wars. In 1969, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation was formed in response to the Al-Aqsa Mosque fire, symbolizing an attempt to rekindle unity through diplomacy, even without a caliphate, focusing on economic cooperation and cultural exchange. Today, the Islamic world is a mosaic. Over 50 sovereign states spanning Africa, Asia, and beyond, from bustling metropolises like Dubai with its skyscrapers to ancient centers like Fez. It is a world marked by diversity of culture, language, and politics. Sunnis and Shias, Arabs and Indonesians, secularists and revivalists, yet bound by a faith that began in the deserts of Arabia, with rituals like Ramadan fostering community and Hajj drawing millions annually. The story that started with scattered tribes has become a global civilization, influencing everything from finance with Islamic banking to science with contributions from contemporary scholars, still shaping history through movements like the Arab Spring, still seeking its balance between tradition and modernity amid globalization and challenges like extremism and climate change. The caliphate may be gone, but its legacy lives on in the lives of over 1 billion Muslims around the globe, a testament to endurance, adaptation, and the unyielding human spirit.